turn to the Wall Street Journal piece that you wrote on the Sentinel because I ask people about the triad all the time, and I'm usually trying to get them to say, time to drop the missiles and concentrate on the submarines and the bombers. And here you come, and you're a big Sentinel person. Tell me about it.
I am. I am a strong, strong supporter of our nuclear triad. Obviously, we need all three legs. We're facing two adversaries, China and Russia, who continue to build their nuclear programs, who do have a triad. And let's remember, Hugh, that our bombers aren't loaded at this point in time. So we really only have a dyad that is prepared to take action if this country was facing an imminent attack. When we look at the Sentinel program, these new missiles are really going to be able to do a lot of things. I can't talk about some of them here, but they're replacing the Minuteman III, and those have to be replaced. When we have the silos and the heartland of the United States, it's going to make our adversaries think twice before they would have any kind of attack on our heartland. Let's remember that as well. If you're willing to take that step as an enemy of this country and send missiles to our heartland to take out our Sentinel missiles, that is unbelievable that it would happen, and it would be devastating for any enemy to take action like that. We have to have a strong triad. We have to be able to have those three legs strong, and that's what I've been working on as a member of the Armed Services Committee to make sure we continue with that modernization of all three legs of our triad.
Senator Fisher, in the days when mutual assured destruction theory was taught, people understood that our ground based missiles were there to oblige an enemy to strike the homeland because they could not strike the homeland and survive. And if they struck the homeland, we were all in. Can you tell me where the Sentinel program is? Because I know the Minutemen III are older than I am. They've been around a long time.
Yeah, the Sentinel program, it's in process. In fact, we have some of those missile silos in western Nebraska. It's part of F.E. Warren base that's in Wyoming, but we have ICBMs in Nebraska. Those will be replaced over time. We're looking at a long-term commitment here. It is one of the biggest, it is the biggest construction project that the Department of Defense has ever undertaken. And when we look at the cost of Sentinel too, I think it's important to be able to have an understanding of why, well, many reasons why that number's so big, but it takes into consideration the infrastructure that's required in a Sentinel program. For example, when we're looking at the bombers and upgrading to our B-21 bomber, that program doesn't take into consideration any infrastructure, whether it's base, runways, anything like that. But a Sentinel program does.
Do we have a date for when the first Sentinel will be deployed and actively available for the defense of the United States?
I'm going to be meeting on that, have a phone call later today, as a matter of fact, with Northrop. We're going to be discussing some of the issues that we're seeing with the Sentinel program. Obviously, there's some costs that we're monitoring closely. With construction costs increasing, that's going to be affecting the program. But to make sure that we stay on a schedule and be able to get that program up in a timely manner, as well as our subs, our Columbia class, the
Oh,
Raptor.
absolutely. But do they even
This
have
is
a
vital.
do,
Yeah,
do they have
this is
a
vital.
does Northrop have a best case scenario, a date that is their best case scenario? Because I'm afraid we are in the window for brinksmanship right now, and we haven't got what we need.
There's dates that have been presented, but as I said, I've got a conversation coming up with Norfolk and with the department to be able to look at what are realistic dates. So I'd rather not give a date out there and jump the gun on this. There has been some publicly expressed dates that are there, but we're at a point right now that that I think we need to have the most up-to-date information to be able to look at that. I will say to you, Hugh, when we have classified briefings and we listen to our commanders and our leaders within the Department of Defense, and they tell me, a program, it'll be ready by 2028, it'll be ready by 2030. And I look at them each and every time and I say, that's too late. That's
Yep.
too slow.
Senator, I want to switch topics to you. I know you have a conference meeting coming up today when all the Republican senators get together. I hate the immigration deal that's coming together because it does not have 900 miles of wall authorized, notwithstanding any other law, not appropriated money for it. And I've been to this movie 4 times. It will not pass the House. It will be a failure. It will hurt the Republicans. What do you think about the immigration negotiations that are underway, and what are you going to say at the conference today?
Well, first of all, the entire conference, I think every single member thanks James Langford for the work that he has put in trying to get this administration to, first of all, recognize the crisis that we have at the border. So he has done good work there. I'm waiting to see what the text is of this proposal. James has said it probably won't come out this week. Hopefully we're going to see it next week. But I want to make sure that it does specific things, and that first of all is to make sure that we have a secure border. And for me, that means build the wall, uh, employ technology where it would be appropriate along our border, get Border Patrol down there to be able to look at parole that I think President Biden has abused, to put it bluntly. He's abused it. He's allowed over 1 million people to enter this country on parole. I think it's 235 times more than Trump and Obama combined, that he just allows these people to come into our country. So there's a number of things that I'm looking at here and that I've talked to James about.
Senator, I think Senator Lankford is the equal of any senator in the Senate. One of the people I consider a friend. I love spending time with him. But I do believe a dynamic takes over sometimes in these negotiations where they've got to get to something. If there isn't a wall in there, it's not going to pass. And it's not only going to not pass, it's going to hurt Sheehy in Montana. It's going to hurt our Ohio nominee. It's going to hurt McCormick in Pennsylvania. It's going to hurt our Nevada candidate, our New Mexico candidate. I don't think we can lose West Virginia if we try. But does the conference talk about stuff like that? If they do not put a wall in there that's going to actually get built, we're going to get crushed.
Yeah, I think our conference has been very open with each other. We always have good discussions. Those discussions have become more robust, I would say. You can imagine we have differing opinions on the entire supplemental, including the border piece in there, and members aren't timid about expressing their opinions on that. I would hope that before anything would go forward on the Republican side, we would see strong support from the conference. I don't want to
Great.
see very few Republicans step forward to support supplemental, the border piece, and other parts of that. I think it has to be a strong number of Republicans that would do
I
that.
agree. And if they put the wall in, they'll get it. Last question for you, Senator. I have been arguing that the former president should name a vice presidential running mate very soon because I'd rather have that person out there raising money, doing cable hits, and giving speeches and campaign rallies for 8 months rather than 3. What do you think about an early naming of a running mate?
I support you on that. I think it's a great idea. I think it's important for a candidate who I believe will be President Trump to name his person. It gives, I think, people a clear view of the path forward that the Republican Party is going to take in this election, who our team's going to be. And as you said, to get that person out there to campaign hard with the president to raise money. There's about half of the U.S. Senate now. We've supported President Trump, and we're ready to work hard to see him get elected too. You know, we've been serving with 3 years, going on 4 now with Joe Biden, and we have a complete and full understanding of the disaster his policies have been for this country. Needs to change.
Amen to that. Senator Fisher, it's always good to talk to you. I love talking to people who want to talk about the triad. You're one of the few people who actually want to come on and talk about the triad. So thank you. Good luck with Northrop today. Tell them faster, faster. Thank you so much.